Hello traders, welcome to another trading interview, this time with one of our serious FTMO traders, Usman from Toronto in Canada. Welcome, Usman.
Hey Peter, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you so much to you so that you can have a time to spend with us. And guys, for those who are listening us for the first time, FTMO is a proprietary trading company that actively searches for trading talents because we have developed a unique two-step evaluation process that consists of FTMO challenge and verification phase. And once you pass this two-step evaluation process, you will be offered a unique placement in our proprietary trading company where you can remotely manage your own FTMO account. And that is why we have Usman here. Because Usman is an excellent trader. He currently has 2 FTMO accounts with $100,000, so right now $200,000. And he had a profit from previous period of $17,000 and on the second account $13,000. This is great, amazing. So he's trading right now on 2 accounts and I cannot wait to hear how does he trade on each of them. But before I'm going to ask him about the strategy, come on man, Usman, introduce yourself to us please, to us. Who you are, how did you find out about trading?
Yeah, for sure. So Peter, my name's Usman. I'm 31 years old. I live in Toronto, Canada. I was originally born in Pakistan, but I've lived in Canada pretty much my whole life. And currently right now, I'm a full-time trader. This is what I do full-time. Yeah.
Cool. So, well, like I said, how did you find out about trading?
So just a little background about myself, so originally I went to college for accounting and I absolutely hated it. It wasn't something I wanted to do, right? I got out of college, I passed, I got my diploma. And at that time, I was in my early 20s. So at that time, I was just working odd jobs here and there. And so my brother at that time was just opening up his new business, right? So he offered me a partnership in that business. And so I took it. So I took the partnership and I started working with him. I worked there for 5 years. And it's just, when you own a business, it takes a lot of your time, right? It's, you're there all the time. You have to manage it. It was a lot of time. And I just felt like there was other things that I could pursue at that time, right? So, I was really young. I was in my early 20s. So I worked there for 5 years. It was a great opportunity. I learned a lot. I'm very thankful for that opportunity. But I kind of, around the 5-year mark, I kind of wanted to do something different, right? I wanted to learn something new. So I started learning about digital marketing and I really liked it, right? So, and I started, doing some Google courses. And so I started doing a little bit of freelance work for a couple of companies here and there. And then I got a job at a Fortune 1000 company, a very big company out of the US. It was a great opportunity. And I worked there. I've been working there for the last 2 years, right? I actually just quit that job last month in August to pursue trading full time. And kind of how I came about trading was, it was just, I guess by luck, you could say. How it really happened was in 2020 when the pandemic hit, right? Like March, around that time, everybody got sent home to work from home, right? So even with my company, that we were sent home to work from home. And at that time, I had a little bit of money saved up and I wanted to learn about investing. I wanted to maybe put some money in stocks. And so I came about, I knew about crypto, but, I was like, okay, you know what? I'm going to put some money in Bitcoin and Ethereum and I'm going to hold it. So, at that time, I didn't really know where to buy crypto. The only place I found was Binance. And so I bought crypto on Binance and I kept it on Binance. But as you know, Peter, Binance is not the best place if you're holding, and it's not the best place to buy crypto because you pay a lot of fees, right? So, but it's good that happened to me because I saw that Binance was a trading platform. So I was like, okay, so people are actually trading, they're making money, what's going on here? And so I think I had $4,000 and 1 week I bought a random altcoin with all the money, right? And a couple of days passed by and I was just doing my job, whatever, I was working, and I went to go and look at my balance, I think, and I was up like $2,000. The coin had gone up 60%. So when I saw that, I was like, I just made $2,000 this week. I'm like, this is crazy. So then I was like, what? I want to do this. This is how I want to make money. And then so I was like, I have to learn how to trade right away. So right away, I was like, I'm not holding my crypto. I want to trade it. I just want to, I'm going to be actively trading it. And so I started trading right away. And obviously, you know, the first thing you do is you lose money if you don't know what you're doing. So right away, I started losing money. But I also knew, like I knew this is kind of what I wanted to do. I kind of saw what trading was and what it, you know, the lifestyle that kind of brings with it. And so I was like, you know what? I have to take this seriously. If I'm going to learn to trade, I need to learn to trade properly. So the first thing I did was I bought this course online from Mango Research, you know, and I bought the course. I did the course. It was a really long course and it was very in-depth. It was a good course, but at that time, it was too much for me. I wanted to move too fast. I didn't want to learn everything step by step, right? Even though the course taught everything, I just skimmed through it. And I started trading with leverage. And I think within 2 weeks, I blew $4,000, gone. I think I put more money in there, gone, more money, gone. And it was just like, I just got so frustrated. I was like, what is going on? So, but long story short, that summer I switched to Forex because my friend was trading Forex. And, you know, I was like, okay, you know, this seems a little bit better. You know, everything's not really tied down just to Bitcoin. So I got a couple more courses. You know, what I thought was if I paid for a strategy, I could buy my way to becoming profitable. But as you already know, Peter, that's never true. You can pay $10,000, $20,000 for a strategy, but you can, just because if it works for you or me, you know, it doesn't work for somebody else. So I bought all these courses and I bought all these strategies and it just wasn't working. I was like, what is going on, right? But over the time, what kind of happened was I took a little bit from every strategy. You know, I learned a strategy about Fibonacci's, right? I learned a strategy about the 1 minute, 5 minute time frame. And so over time, I started taking a little bit of pieces from all these strategies. And basically that's kind of how I learned to trade. But the last thing that really made the difference for me was I couldn't do risk management and my psychology wasn't there. Strategy was perfect. Entries were perfect. I learned everything. I used to wake up, you know, 4 hours before work, 4 or 5 a.m., study, 4 hours after work, study. I was working so hard, but I just couldn't be profitable. So in the end, it was really in the end, it was right before I got funded with FTMO. It was the mindset and the risk management that really put it all together for me. So that's kind of a short story of how I came about trading.
Well, amazing introduction. Again, you told me a lot about you. So what I'm going to ask you is right now, what do you do when you are not trading?
So, okay, so that's a really good question. So what I do when I'm not trading. So just before I answer that question, you know, I'm just going to tell you, so last month I quit my job, right? Before that, I was working every single day, 8 hours a day, right? And I'm trying to trade full time. You know, I've been with FTMO for 7 months now. So it's like I wake up pre-New York, almost London, which is 4 or 5 a.m., trade, and then I work for 8 hours and then do a little bit of chart work after. So it's all day. I was very busy. So I really had no time for hobbies. The last 6 months, there was no time to do anything. But what I love to do and what my passion is, I love traveling. That's the number one thing I love to do. So that's why I've kind of been away the last 3 weeks. I haven't been trading too much. But that's what I love. So when I quit my job in August, the first thing I did was I flew to South America, to Bolivia, to see my mentor, Ben, you know, a great mentor. You know, he taught me a lot about Forex and it was an amazing experience. So I traveled to South America. I just got back yesterday from Montreal here in Canada. I plan on traveling to Europe later on this year to see some friends and maybe Asia as well. So now that you know I have more time on my hands, I'm gonna have the ability to travel, which I love doing. You know, I can trade from a hotel, I can trade from an airport. You know, I don't really prefer it. I prefer to be in my room in front of my big monitor. But when I do travel, I just lower my risk a little bit. You know, I lower my risk a little bit. But other than that, you know, I just got into like PC gaming. Just gonna explore that. And then, you know, trading is so stressful. Just for fun, like I have an Instagram page where I'll just post like trading memes, just funny memes. If anybody wants to check it out, it's called trading_LP. But yeah, you know, now that I have more time, Peter, and I'm a full-time trader, I'm gonna really explore some new hobbies. And that's the great thing that comes with trading, right?
Amazing. So you are a full-time FTMO trader or also trader on other accounts?
So full-time FTMO, I have recently just opened up my own personal account, but my main effort even right now, or my main, you know, energy is spent on my FTMO accounts. I'll be honest with you, August was kind of a rough month for me. So I took the last 2 weeks of August off and the first week of September off. I really hate trading NFP week. It's just always the worst for me. And I already had a bad 2 weeks. So I decided, you know, this last week I wasn't going to trade. Today's probably, you know, after this is going to be when I start actively trading again on my FTMO accounts. But yeah, full time, I'm focused on my FTMO accounts. This is what I'm doing. That's it.
Great, great, great. And well, what I'm going to ask you, just told me a lot about you. So maybe you can tell me something about the learning process when you were learning the trading. How did you start, and what did you say right now that was the biggest or the most important knowledge that you gained from the learning?
So let me tell you this, Peter. You know, everything I've been through in life, I can tell you this: Forex is the hardest way to make money. It's not easy. The learning curve for trading is very difficult. It's very difficult. I think from when I started learning up until now, I was really rushing the process. I wanted to make money right away. With trading, if you're learning trading, you cannot make money quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme. You can't learn things very fast, especially when it comes down to risk management and you know, psychology. Those are the last things that, you know, a trader usually needs to perfect. And I'm still working on my psychology. You know, I've really improved my risk management. So, I mean, if you're asking about people that are starting to learn, or when I started to learn, and if I could go back and do it all over again, as much as I focused on my strategy all day long and I used to back test 3, 4, 5 hours every day, you know, 10 hours on the weekend, back testing. I would focus a lot more on psychology and risk management along with the strategy. Because if you don't have those last two things, somebody can show you the best winning strategy in the world, but you're still not going to make any money at the end of the month. So, yeah.
So you are saying that risk management is a little less or more important than the strategy?
So I'm going to say strategy is 50%. I would even say maybe even a little less. I would say risk management and psychology are more important. I would say they're more. I would say trading is 80% psychology and 20% technical. So it is very important to focus on your strategy. No doubt, it's important. But especially if you're on a funded account like FTMO, you have rules and regularly. Like you cannot go through your drawdown, and you have certain rules. So if your risk management is not in place every time, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle a lot, and that's why I struggled in the beginning a lot as well. Yeah.
Very interesting thoughts. Thank you for those. Well, again, I cannot wait to hear your strategy. So, you know, can you show me how do you trade?
Yeah, sure. We can quickly take a look at my charts. I mean, I haven't been taking too many trades the last 3 weeks, but I'll definitely show you what I have here. Okay, so Peter, I think you can see my screen. So typically, when I first started with FTMO, you know, I was trading a lot of pairs. I used to trade a lot of pairs. Recently, I've just dialed everything down back a little bit, and I'm really trying to just focus on Euro USD, GBP USD, and gold. Those are the 3 pairs, and I'm slowly even trying to remove maybe GBP USD and just do Euro USD and gold. I just kind of really want to refine one of my strategies, which I'll talk to you about. So I have kind of two strategies that I use. Mainly is the first one that I'm going to show you, and also another strategy. Again, these are strategies that most people already know. It's just kind of how you use the strategy, right? So with my first strategy, it's pretty straightforward. You know, I learned this a long time ago. You know, I've been using it for a long time. It's just a simple break and retest. With at least I try to look for 2 to 3 confluences before I enter the trade. So the highest time frame for this strategy I'll look for is at the 4-hour time frame. I'll look at the 4-hour, and I'll in my head, I already know the direction that the market has been in the last week or the last day. But for example, here with GBP USD, you know, during the end of August, when I was taking trades, you know, we had this big push down on GU, right? And we had a very strong support right here. I kind of saw this double bottom. On the 4-hour time frame, I'm just looking, you know, I'm looking for something like this to happen, where we stop, you know, either we break structure to the upside, or we, if I have intuition and I feel like we just made a lower high, I can take this trade, and then obviously it would move up like this. So with this trade over here, I'm going to move over to my lower time frames. I didn't really have as many confluences as I typically like to have, but I felt like this trade was a good trade. I know 1.37 on GU was a key level that we could see a reaction from. Okay. So we didn't really break market structure here, but when I came down, I really like trading the lower time frames, 5-minute, 1 minute. You know, I like looking for maybe sometimes inverted head and shoulders. So I saw this push to the upside. I knew there was a double bottom already created. And the market, even, you know, for the short term, the market could potentially push up. I don't really care if I'd get 10. I'm not looking for big risk to rewards. I just want my 1 to 3. And I'm happy with that. That's more than enough for me. So, you know, I saw the break, and I saw this double bottom being created here. I waited for the market to kind of pull back and take out this double bottom. Once we pulled back out of this, and we basically just did a break and retest on this level right here. And I believe on the 4-hour, it was a bullish engulfing right here as well. So that kind of gave me my signal, even though I didn't have all the confluences that I typically need to be taking this trade. I took this trade, and it was a little bit less than a 1 to 3 trade on this one. And I believe this one I was taking on my personal account. So just strategy wise, that's pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And I'll just go back to the 4-hour. So what I was looking for even today, but it did not happen, is, you know, this is a perfect, you know, break of structure right here. We have support, resistance that's turned into support, right? So it's a great break of structure. I was looking for this to pull back here. And if that had happened, it would have given me the confluences that I kind of needed. Because what I would do here is it would, let me just draw my fib level. So my confluences here would be, we have a market structure break. We have a resistance turn to support. And then I would have my 61.8 fib level that I love using, right? So that would be enough confluence for me to have taken this trade this morning. But I did not take it. There was some news this morning. And also I would have waited for the 4-hour candle to close. I don't really trade the trend line. The trend line is not very important to me. It was just the structure. I would want to wait for the 4-hour candle to close above, or leave at least a wick below, and then maybe like a 30-minute candle with some wick rejections, and I will take this trade. If I lose this trade, it's no big deal. You know, trading, it's a game of probabilities. So as long as my confluences add up, I have my confluences, it's a 1 to 3 minimum risk to reward, I'll take the trade. So that's kind of my thought process with this strategy that I use. It's pretty simple. You know, I look for structure to be broken. I look for support, resistance. And if I can add a confluence with a Fibonacci level, and also I'm going with the trend, that's typically enough for me to take this. This strategy's worked pretty well for me. It doesn't really give me the best risk to rewards, but I mean, it's worked well for me. Let's just put it that way, right? So this is kind of my main strategy that I use. There is a different strategy that I'm now using on Euro USD. I only use it now on Euro USD. and it's been really good. So I'll quickly just switch over there. So like, you know, I mentioned to you before, you know, I took courses on fibs and some on smaller time frames, and so I took a little bit of everything from all these strategies, you know, and I kind of created a little bit of myself. And so this strategy that I'm using on EU, it's really simple. I've back tested it a lot. It's working excellent. I've done a couple of forward testing trades so far, and they've gone really good. So I'll tell you my criteria for this strategy. It's pretty simple. I already know in the back of my head, Euro USD for the time being is in an uptrend, right? I'm only looking at the 5-minute time frame, sometimes the 15-minute or the 1 minute. Mainly I'm looking at the 5-minute time frame, okay? And I'm looking for a big impulse like these two candles right here that break previous structure. So, you know, we're breaking all of this structure here to the left. And so what I do when I see this, I know we're in an uptrend, and I see this big impulse that's just been created, but I make sure it's not from news or anything like that, right? So the structure breaks, and I'm looking for a pullback to two areas. Either number one, I'm looking for a pullback to where the impulse started. So that would be right here. And I can enter here, or I will look for an entry on one of my Fibonacci levels. It really depends setup to setup. So on this one here, it was a really strong impulse to the upside. So I waited for it to come back down to where the impulse started. And then we had this 5-minute bullish engulfing, and I took this trade right here. It was a 1-to-3 risk to reward. And I was happy with that trade. And then I think I didn't trade for a little bit after that. And then the next trade I took was over here. Again, same strategy. I looked at this leg, which broke all the structure to the left-hand side, and I wanted I wanted this to pull back down all the way to this level. But what happened is the next leg after that broke structure again. So when that happens, I know we're in a very strong uptrend, and when we're in a very strong uptrend, I will look to take the trade off one of my Fibonacci levels, right? And it just, when it came down to the 70 fib level, which is kind of where I usually take the trades on fibs, I took this trade right here. Again, a 1-to-3. I am going to be looking for higher risk to reward trades, but it's very hard for me to hold the trade after 1-to-3. If I get the 1-to-3, I just get a little nervous that maybe it's going to come back and take me out. So yeah, these are basically the two strategies that I'm currently using right now, Peter.
Okay, so again, let's summarize your trading style. So you are GBP USD, Euro USD, or gold trader. You use mainly, okay. You use multiple time frame analysis, but only 4 hours and 1 hour chart, right? Then you are using price action. You use some support and resistance levels. You use a lot of Fibonacci levels. You are also looking at some trending, and then the risk ratio or reward to risk ratio should be 3-to-1 at least. And then you are also probably journaling your trades so that you can 100% cool. Well, cool. So my last question on this is, tell me more about the forward testing.
So by forward testing, I mean this. And it's a funny story. Look, when I learned this Fibonacci strategy back in January, right? I was back testing it every day, and I had a win rate of like 80%. And I was like, whoa, this is amazing. I'm going to be rich, right? And then but when I went to actually, and that's when I took my second FTMO challenge, and I failed that one. Because when I actually went into the live market with the strategy, my win rate was like 30%. So what I mean by forward testing is, if I back test a strategy and it's great, it works perfect, I need to bring it to the live market because, you know, psychology comes into play. You know, the candlestick, like the candle has not fully closed sometimes, whereas back testing, you know, it's kind of already drawn out for you. So my forward testing for like, this is what I'm, so when I started doing this strategy, which was, you know, in the end of August, starting September, I back tested this all of August while I was on vacation, while I had some free time, right? So in forward testing, I'm going to be taking this strategy to the live market. So I took these 2 trades, which turned out beautiful so far for me. I haven't got, these are trades that I'm taking on my personal account. I'm probably going to take the strategy in forward testing, meaning I'm going to keep taking these trades. And if I'm happy with the way this week ends, I'm going to take this strategy onto one of my FTMO accounts, not both, just because I don't want to risk a new strategy on a FTMO account. I did that once and it didn't end up very well. So once I'm happy with this, I'm going to switch over next week to one of my FTMO accounts, and I will use this strategy on one of those accounts.
Cool. Well, I was just asking because there are like 3 types of testing, right? The manual, automated, and forward testing. So that's why I asked.
Yeah.
And what about some manual or automated? Have you tried that?
Like you mean on TradingView, like the bar replay testing?
Well, it's up to you. Whenever you want, you can use MetaTrader.
Yeah.
It's up to you.
So back testing, yes, I used TradingView with the bar replay button, and I'll go back as far as I can, and I'll take as many trades. And I also journal these trades.
Cool.
And sometimes what I do is I take screenshots of the back testing, and I write down like little notes as well. Yeah.
That's just journaling, but when you are backtesting manually, you are just looking in the history and you're just watching if your strategy would work in the history. Or if you are going to use some automated backtesting, you will program something and the program will do it for you.
No, I don't do any programming or anything like that. My backtesting just consists of bar replay on TradingView.
Okay.
So I'll go back in time. I'll cut that time off, and then I'll take the trades like they're actually being traded kind of in the real market. And then if I make any mistakes or if I note something, I'll just make notes, I'll put some notes down on the chart or in my journal. And then I'll see, how many trades that I win in the backtesting session that I did for the day. What time was it around? Was it around London session, New York? Just, I'm trying to pick up on small things. So yeah.
Cool. Amazing. Thank you so much. Let's go for our last part.
For sure.
Okay, Usman. Well, thank you so much for your strategy. It was really thoughtful from you to tell us the strategy. And I have some last questions for you. Sure. Who inspires you in trading community?
That's a good question. So let me answer that. So if for inspiring, probably my inspiration is my mentor. His name is Ben, a great teacher. He taught me a lot. I'm very thankful for him. But to be honest with you, in Forex, it's a very different industry than any other industry. In other industries, you have role models and you have people that you look up to. But Forex is extremely hard to make money in. And the learning curve in Forex is very long and difficult. So if there's somebody that, it's not even more about inspire, but if there's somebody that I look up to, I look up to myself. And I know it sounds a little crazy, but let me tell you why. Because see, when you start trading Forex, it's so difficult with the learning curve. People are going to tell you you're wasting your time. It's a scam. You're never going to make it. You're going to lose all your money. And when you're going through those rough times of when you're not profitable, if you don't have the ultimate belief in yourself, and when you're working, when you're studying 3-4 hours a day, if you don't believe in yourself and if you don't inspire yourself, you're not going to make it, right? So I always just, especially in Forex, I just compete with myself. I look at myself and I look at myself for inspiration. So if I had a great month of July, I'm inspired to even do a better month in September. And it's just, you with trading, you really, even if you're not profitable, you really just, before you go look up to any of these Forex gurus or people on Instagram, it's better to look up to yourself and work hard, because this is going to require a lot of hard work before you even become any kind of profitable trader.
Well, it's great to hear that your inspiration is yourself, because in the end, it's up to you and only up to you. There's no one else. So great to hear. And what are your future plans in your, let's say, in your life?
So I have a lot of plans in life, the one that I'm focusing right now, as life goes on, you have different changes and different, goals. My goals for this year for trading, I pretty much hit all my goals for this year. I'm very, thankful for that. But in the next short term, my plan is kind of to focus on my trading, because I recently just fully became a trader, right? I don't have any other source of income. Of course, I'm going to be focusing on other stuff as well, but just for the next 3 months till the end of the year, I want to really focus on my trading, right? I've done the strategy part. I've done a lot of that. I want to really focus up until the end of the year. I really want to focus on improving more of my mindset, my psychology. I want to make that even better. My risk management, I want to make it perfect, right? Because these are the things that really make a difference on how much money you really, when I was trading the first 3 months of FTMO, I wasn't getting very big payouts. It's because these 3 things weren't where they should have been. And in the last 3 months, I really improved them, and I saw the difference of, how much money how much profits you can make and how much percentage you can make. It's a small thing. So I'm really looking to focus in the next 3 months on my physical health, mental health, spiritual health, focus on risk management, mindset, because the thing is, trading can become very stressful, especially if you do this as a full-time job. People don't realize trading is extremely stressful. It's a lot of pressure on you. Right? So what I want to do is I want to focus on learning to deal with the losses. I know they're going to happen. They happen every day. But I want to get a little bit better at learning to deal with the losses and taking breaks, walking away from the computer if I have 2-3 losing trades in a day, not letting my emotions get involved, and just finding the right balance between trading and, just enjoying life. Because if you can't manage the stress and if you can't manage the losses, I've seen it happen. It happened to me in August as well. It happened to me in May. When the losses start adding up, your emotions start going crazy and you just want to revenge trade. So my goal for this future, for the next 4 months at least, is to improve these things. I really want to focus on these things, improve them, and then starting next year, just focus on my FTMO accounts, focus on my personal accounts, and then we'll see where life takes us.
Great to hear. And do you have some guidance to our traders?
Yeah, I mean, so even it doesn't really matter if you're looking to become FTMO funded or if you just want to become a better trader. My advice really is focus on your strategy, of course. But one thing, I said it before, you can pay thousands of dollars for a strategy. It's not going to make you profitable. It's best to take strategies, learn a little bit from them, because what works for you, Peter, may not work for me, right? It's better to learn a little bit from the strategy and make it your own. But while you're working on your strategy, just always keep in mind to be working on mindset and risk management. So, it's always better to trade on a smaller live account than a demo account. Learn to take the losses, but also learn to take the wins, because sometimes when you're winning, you get so excited. And it's happened to me. I win a few trades and I'm like, okay, I'm going to double my risk now. And then boom, you just wipe out all your profits. So yeah, my advice is focus on your strategy, focus a lot more on mindset and psychology, really figure out what that means for you, what kind of person you are, how do you deal with your emotions, right? Whatever I've been through in life, I had done some personal development, and I think that's what helped me a little bit in the end. But if it comes down to FTMO, my advice for FTMO is, improve yourself, work on a personal account. It's great that you guys do these FTMO free trials, because that can definitely help you figure out your risk, what you need to do to pass the challenge. And it's not just about passing the challenge, it's about keeping the account as well, right? You don't want to just wing it, get the account, and it's gone next month, no point. So, focus on the trial. Trading is really a game of probabilities. So as long as you have good risk management, you have good risk to reward, it's just a game of probabilities. So just let the numbers play out. And yeah, just, as long as you're focused on those 3-4 things, you should be okay.
Well, Usman, I'm so grateful for this interview. It was really nice to meeting you. You have given us a clear overview of your trading, and I think your experience and accomplishments can provide us a really good value, and probably the value to our listeners. So thank you so much. I'm so happy to having you among the FTMO traders, and I have one special advice for you.
Yeah.
Try to believe in your analysis. not forecasting. Do you have any last words?
I just want to thank you, Peter, for doing this interview with me. I want to thank FTMO. FTMO has been a life-changing opportunity for me. You know, it's just, we live in a time where we have this option of like, you know, getting funding. So if anybody, you know, wants to take this seriously, I would highly recommend, you know, taking FTMO. We have this opportunity right now, and take advantage of it. You know, I took advantage of it and it's totally changed my life. So I definitely want to say thank you to you, Peter, for doing this interview, and to FTMO for even providing this, you know, opportunity to us.
And that's FTMO.